it was a very funny movie. Is it? What was your idea? You know, it sounds a bit cartoonesque. You know what?
Yeah, that actually was the idea behind it because before I started to write it, I'm a huge fan of Sergio Leone, and on the other side, I also grew up with the Warner Brothers cartoons like Bugs Bunny, Tex Avery, or Roadrunner cartoons, and also the horror movies. And I tried to mix all those genres together, trying to do a horror movie if it was kind of looking like a Sergio Leone film, and using the violence from the cartoons. Because for me, I'm a big fan of horror, but it's really difficult to do a really innovative, new kind of horror film because so many films have already been here. And the only way for me to express something new was to try and mix it up and make it a cartoon horror movie.
Okay, because I also see some like Terry Gilliam influences in it. You know, like your character, for example. You know, with the glasses. You know.
Yeah, I love these glasses. Unfortunately, I lost them. But yeah, they were very important. And yeah, sometimes I have them in the movie and sometimes not.
You lost them during the movie or what? Or?
Yeah, during the editing, during the movie. Now the glasses were just like, yeah, it was great fun. Great fun to have them. Yeah, to see the world through them.
So you start the movie with puking, fighting, and sex. This is a Austrian way of life, or?
It's the country of Mozart, of course, sex and drugs.
Well, actually, we're quite an international movie since Alexander is actually from Yugoslavia, Kari from Finland, and Faris, at least half of him, is from Egypt.
Where did you find all of these tough guys for the cast? Where did you meet them?
Well, Sasha, he was my co-worker at my former job I had at the airport. Faris, he's the best friend of Sasha. They have known each other since they were 5 years old. And Kari, he found us when we made an internet casting call. And that's also where all the other actors came from, except the old policeman. He is also a co-worker from the airport job.
So you got the job via internet? What did they say? We want a maniac, please. How did you do that?
No, it's you have ads in one union for actors in Austria. So I looked, okay, I called them. So that's how it went. Then I went there and they took me. So
what did you have to do for the casting?
Oh.
Oh
yes, was this a gunshot? Was a special effects or?
No.
We locked him off for 3 weeks and gave him a lot of porn stuff and then let him out. No, it's fake, yeah. Sorry.
But it's your first movie, no? And
yeah, it's my first feature-length movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
first feature-length movie.
Yeah.
So now your first movie, you're at this festival. You know, you've been in the theater. You know, people yelling all the time. What do you think about that? You know, it's because it must be something.
It's kind of crazy because, of course, when you make the movie, you want to have just exactly something like this, but you have to be at the same moment. You have to be so sane and tell yourself, well, if all this happens, it's just a huge amount of luck, and it could be. The chances that this is not going to happen were much bigger than this is actually happening now. So we are totally lucky with this film because this is our 11th or 12th festival now. And the funny thing is when I started to write the script, I said the festival I wanted to go to was the Fantasia Festival in Montreal because that was the only one I knew which was specialized in that kind of genre films. And yeah, 2 years later we got the invitation to Fantasia, and from Fantasia on it didn't stop. So we're just hopping from one genre festival to the other. And this here in Brussels is actually the biggest movie theater I've ever been. never seen such a big one in my life.
This is
no.
the smallest we have. It's you're in Belgium.
Yeah, for the small movies, the small theaters, right?
Yeah, and you have a great audience. You have really a great audience. We have to appreciate. Really, thanks a lot. It's worth it. Really, really. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Just a question for you now. Like most of the movie, you're dug in the ground. How is that? You know, to be acting just with your head.
It helped me a lot.
You lost
like-
some hair, or
Yeah, I lost my hair 10 years ago. No, it was the original plan was to dig a hole, and I wanted to stand in the hole and move my arms and everything. And then after like 90 centimeters, there was groundwater. So I had to sit like this in the hole, and my knees are hurting, and I could stay like for 2 hours, and then I'm starting to cry, and I say, I want to go out. But it needed us 45 minutes to get me out of the hole and put me in the hole again, and to like make it fine and stuff. I had plastic bottles inside to pee, and and after 2 hours, sometimes the sun was going away, and Peter said, "Come on, you have to stay for 1 more hour." And I said, "Oh, I can't, please." And come on, please. And so
he was more lucky. Eh? He didn't have to use bottles to pee. Yeah?
it was my first golden shower. Yeah.
Now, is anybody in the audience une question de la publiek pour eux? Enige vragen in het publiek?
How did you go from making short movies to finally being able to make a feature-length movie? And did you find distributors already in Western Europe?
Distributors. Well, we've sold the film to France. We will have a theatrical release there, and that's at the moment the only country we have sold the movie to. So in the German-speaking area of Europe, it's not sold yet. But so we hope some buyers are here listening to us. And the other question, how did we get from the short ones to the long one? I made 2 short ones before. The second one was already with Alexander. And yeah, the reception of that short film was quite okay, and I felt, okay, well, it's worth pursuing that a little further. And after all, short films are just, just for practice. You can't make any money from short films, and you can hardly show them anywhere. So it was for me the next logical step to make a feature film, because the feature film is the one that really gets you out. It's like a calling card for us at the moment.
Somebody else? Quelqu'un d'autre? Okay, talking about the movie again. Somebody, yeah?
All right, it's just like existential question for you. Sorry. It's big question. I see the movie and I just want to know why when you make love with a girl, it's always on the back. I mean that she got a bad smell or something like this, that it's always on the back?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually, I never noticed it until somebody mentioned it when they saw the film. So it must be something subconscious within me, but there was no intention. I don't know why. Yeah, so it must be inside me.
Good question.
Actually, I got a question for you.
Yes.
How did you make to entertain your role on the movie? Like, you are so scary, like completely madly, and on the same time you can play comics like Tex Avery, and at the same time you can be so scary with your eyes and your behavior. That's really impressed. That's really impressive.
Thank you. Do you want me to tell you everything about my mother?
No. Thank you, but no.
No, it was quite a funny thing because we were working such a short time. And anyway, I'm 20 years older than the rest of the crew, most of them. And then I saw that the only possibility is to keep the role going all the time. So when I get there at 6 o'clock, I'm having it on, and I leave it in 8 o'clock in the evening. So most of them didn't met me at all as a person, and they really thought that I'm like that all the time. I think so. But yeah.
Peter, will you always make horror films, or do you want to do everything, like music videos and romantic schmaltzes and Hollywood glitz? Do you want to do everything, or do you want to stick to the horror movies?
Well, I don't necessarily have to stick to the horror movies, but if I think what I feel most at home with is those movies that are a little offbeat. So the mainstream stuff is not really my world. Maybe I'll do something like that when I'm 50 or 60 years old, but not for the next 20 years, no. So I would love to do a really straight horror film to scare people. But yeah, we'll see. But no, don't be afraid. I won't make... I'm not going to do a Desperate Housewife series or something like that, no.
Quelqu'un d'autre? Nog iemand? Okay, just production-wise, the location, budget, where did you find the money to do it?
Well, the movie cost about 50,000 euros, and we got 30,000 from my county, who had kind of film funding, and the other half came out of my own pocket. So, speaking as of today, I'm more or less bankrupt.
But you've been traveling around, you've been to all festivals.
Yeah.
You're bankrupt, but you had fun.
You are my only chance to get out of my home, because...
About shooting in DV, it was a choice because it was low budget. We want to shooting it in DV for making a more aggressive movie, or?
You mean why we shot in mini DV? Yeah. It was just a matter of money, because mini DV tape, one tape is like €2.50, and everything else. In the first beginnings, when I wrote the script and when we decided to shoot the film, I thought about shooting it in HD. But that was before all those HD consumer cameras came out, and the only professional one was that Panasonic one, and that all the hardware and the software you would have needed to edit the whole movie at home, what we did, because everything in post-production was done in our living rooms. And back then it was just not possible, because alone just renting the camera and the lenses and everything would have cost more than the whole movie now. Yeah.
But it was shot entirely in Austria? Did you...
It was shot entirely in Austria, and actually almost everything of the movie was shot on that location. Also the apartment scenes were on that location, so we just dressed up... actually, we dressed up one room for Julia's apartment, and on one side of the wall, so over there was Julia's apartment, and on the other side of the wall we had his office, where he's doing the jerking off. Because we had no other possibility to shoot, but we could just turn around the camera.
Just a question for the actors now. How was it being directed by him? You know, it's how did he get to do the things you do? Was it stressful? Give us a nice anecdote from the movie.
Well, in the beginning it was very fun doing it, and then, like the last week, we were all fighting and we hated each other. And after we shot the movie for 1 month, we had absolutely no contact. Really, no contact at all.
You're joking.
Yeah, and maybe 1 week before we finished the first shooting, and we had a shooting after 1 year for 1 week, Peter wanted to quit because Peter and I, we had a fight. We don't even know about what, but we were just nervous, and we were working 16 hours a day, and nobody saw any money for it, and a lot of our friends were involved in, he enjoyed it in the beginning because he likes to torture people, and he wrote the script, so he just, yeah.
Some anecdote about the movie, you know, just
Pardon me?
something, an anecdote, you know, something funny that happened or that you say.
Yeah,
like,
funny. It was I mean, you could imagine there are like 30 people on the set. I'm in the hole, and I couldn't get out myself, so I needed them. And Faris is my best friend. I know him for 20 years, and for me always. And Faris was also in the production involved. So for me, it always was important that Faris is around when they took me out of the hole, because he cared most about me. So I knew Faris is very important for me. But still, of course, they 2 or 3 times they said, "Okay, Sasha, we go for lunch. Bye bye." And they got off the set, and I was sitting there, and they okay, and I had to wait for 10 minutes, or I don't know. If there's a head on the floor, many people have strange ideas. So, and they were inspired by the script, but they were also nice to me. I had somebody that scratched my nose. They gave me cigarettes, and they had an umbrella for me because the sun was. We shot in summer, so. No, it was umbrella. Sometimes they put a bucket on me too.
And what about you, Kari?
I just loved it.
No, I mean something, you know, an anecdote about the movie, you know.
Not really. Not really. I was so busy all the time, so keeping me going on. Yeah, it isn't that kind of movie that I would like my mother to see.
You're always talking about your mother. Right? What's with your mother? You know, tell us about it. You know?
No.
What?
Yeah. For me, I came on the movie in April. We had a meeting in a bar where we did also the casting after, where we met Kari. And for me, it was clear that Sasha wanted me on the movie because of this whole stuff, you know. They want to put me in a hole, you have to be around, I don't trust them. And I said, yeah, okay. So Peter asked me if I can do the assistant director, and I did with Margit. She's not here, but she did a great job, the production. And then someday I asked you, who is going to do the real estate manager? And I said, oh, did I forget? You. I said, oh, shit, okay. So in fact, I had no time to rehearsal this part. So I was always afraid that one day Peter will come and say, hey, we have to shoot this scene, yeah? And I always try to convince him, we have some time, you know, just shoot another thing or scene, or we have a problem with the hole, you know, Sasha wants to get out of the hole. But in fact, this day came and, no rehearsal, and it was like the rest of the movie. I have to really to say, I mostly remember like how strange it was to come in, wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, get the people on the set. Every 5 days beginning of shooting when the sun came up, and then shooting till 9 o'clock. Then we had to sit, make the plan for the next day. And the first week, it was just raining. We were like really desperate. And I just remember like 30 people like working their asses off and had a really, really good laugh. Not because just of Sasha and the whole, but it was a super experience. And thank you, Peter, and all the team, really. Yeah, we're going for the next Western.
Yeah, Western. Maybe.
Okay, about that, you know, like from here on, you know, in this movie, you made it, you showed it in a lot of places already. Now, your future projects, what is going to happen? What are you going to do? What are you going to make? Is there something going on already, or?
Well, to make it short, it just depends on when we get the money. So I have 2 scripts ready, and we're just trying to get the funding for the movies. And as soon as we have the money, we start shooting. Yeah.
Okay, imagine you have the money. What is it about?
What is it about?
Is it
oh my God!
Is it something horror-y? Is it something? Is it humor? Is it what is it about?
What? One of them is a bit like this one, so it's a bit of everything. So we got a love story in it, much more love story than this one. Actually, this time it's a real love story. I'm sorry, David. And well, it's kind of whacked out. We got dinosaurs flying jet planes. We got burning children. We got zombies, mad Nazi policemen, and all this is mixed together with a great love story about a writer and a very beautiful woman. And the whole thing is kind of mixed up with the way I see things, like Just Saw Them in On Evil Grounds. And the other one we're trying to develop is kind of a Silence of the Lambs meets Alfred Hitchcock meets Aki Kaurismäki. So trying to play around with the genres. That's what I like to do. I watch a lot. You know, I grew up with horror films and watch all that stuff, and then you see, they've done this and this and this. Well, what if we mix this and this and see what comes up?
For the easy projects.
Yeah, totally easy. Yeah.
Il y a encore des questions du public? Nog vragen uit het publiek?
Well, just the last one. How much was the first edit, and what things did you leave on the floor that maybe you missed, or some scenes that you left out of the movie? That will be on the, the DVD package or something.
Well, the first edit was actually 140 minutes long, but that was just scene by scene after scene. So there was no intercutting. So there was a lot of stuff, people just walking from A to B, which took up a lot of time. And to the final edit, the final running time is something like 82 minutes. Actually, there's almost everything is in the movie. There's just one nice scene where we had to switch something because to make the movie more fluid, which is a scene I really regret that we had to take out, because it was a scene where Carrie places the banana in front of Sasha. In the original story, he places the banana in front of Sasha and then calls Juliet. And she's playing with him, and then he freaks out and goes back to Sasha, and he's totally freaking out because she hung up on him and ignored him. And Sasha is trying to eat the banana. So he's trying to reach for the banana, and in the background you see him wrecking everything in the background. So there were barrels, all kinds of dirt and garbage, and he was throwing around everything, and Sasha was getting scared because he couldn't see him, what he was doing, and it was just loud and things flying around. And then he walks up to him, and Sasha's still trying to grab the banana with his mouth, and Carrie takes it away from him, and she just jumps on the banana, and it's totally, it's him on adrenaline. So 10 times as much as you see in the movie. But we had to take it out because it didn't work.
Yes, please. Last question. Actually, Peter, good luck to you for the next scripts. We have a Belgian hero called Bernard Poulvoorde in Belgium. He started his first movie with any budget. So I believe that you've got a career to conquer. So good luck, and thank you for the movie.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you all for coming.
Okay, somebody else, une autre question? Okay, then I would like to thank you for being here. You're in the competition, so...
Thanks for inviting us.
The jury has seen it, so... another question. No, I just wanted to ask you this because it's a very little thing, but there's the bird cage, and there's this little bird hanging around, and I said, like, who had this idea, I thought it was him, but where did you get it from, because that little black bird is hanging all over,
That was a really old factory where we shot the movie, and the bird's been dead for maybe 20 years. We found him somewhere.
No.
And we found the cage in some other place. And don't ask me who, I don't know who had the idea, but I come in the room and suddenly the cage is hanging there and the dead bird is hanging upside down there. So somebody just put it there. And so we didn't kill the bird, it died of natural causes.
Okay. Thank you guys very much for being here at the BIFFF, at the festival, and I wish you all very, very, very a lot of luck with your careers. Thank you. And a big round of applause. Pour vous, il y a la possibilité des autographes et dédicaces. There's a possibility they can come and have. You can very important.